If the weather wasn't enough, here's something that'll give you the chills. The case against an Ekurhuleni woman accused of killing her nephew has been postponed to next week. The body of a 16-year-old was exhumed from her backyard last week. The teen, identified as Neo Mahlangu, has been missing since last month. Manqoba Mchunu is covering this story for us. He joins us now live. So this suspect is accused of killing her nephew. What have we established so far, and what is Neo Mahlangu's immediate family saying?
Well, Shahan, what we do know so far is that the 16-year-old victim, Neo Mahlangu, had been visiting his aunt in Tsakane just before the schools closed, and he was due to stay there for the duration of the school holiday. But on the 24th of March, this is when her aunt then reported him missing to the Tsakane police station. She said at the time that his whereabouts were unknown, but what was suspicious with this is that the neighbors say that they saw two men working in the yard. They were digging a big hole, and that hole was supposedly to install a Georgia tank. So she had hired people to actually dig this hole under the pretense that she was going to install this Georgia tank, but that never happened. And in fact, days later, that hole was later covered with soil. And so this raised quite a lot of suspicion with the neighbors as to what was happening in that particular homestead. But fast forward to a few days later, this is when now the son, who was allegedly also involved in that assault, then alerted one of the relatives who is in KZN that in fact the 16-year-old boy had been assaulted and killed by the aunt, and that he had been buried at the backyard by the aunt. So the police then got involved in that particular situation. They went to the house last week, Thursday, and that's where they made this gruesome discovery of the 16-year-old boy wrapped up in a black plastic bag, still showing bruises on his body to show the extent of the beating that had taken place in that household. So the police at this particular point, we know that they're investigating a case of murder, perjury, as well as defeating the ends of justice. But Shahan, eNCA is also in possession of a video of the actual assault, which was taken believably by the aunt. In fact, it's too graphic for us to show it on air. And so we can just tell you what is in that video. We can hear the boy pleading for his life in that video. You can hear him, praying to God to save his life. And you can hear the aunt clearly saying to him, just pray, continue praying. And then he just says to the other sibling that please ask her to stop, and then he continues to pray and ask God to save his life. So it's quite a shocking video that came out of this, but there's also another one where the aunt is asking him to confess to what he had done. We understand that he had stolen money from the aunt, and this is the reason why she then assaulted him. But the family at this point, Shahan, saying that they still can't believe, they still can't fathom what happened here. They're still in shock. They don't even know what to say. In fact, they say that, they don't even know what to ask her, because they simply don't understand what had happened, because it's not the first time that he had visited the aunt. It was several occasions, and so they really didn't see this one coming. So this family is saying that they're wanting answers, of course, but at this particular point, they want the wheels of justice to turn. But take a listen to what they had to say.
ngishaqekile khulukhulu angazi ukuthi ngifanele ngithini kungaphezulu kwamandla wami kodwa uJehova wazi konke nginikezele ezandleni zakhe ngoba angazi ukuthi ngifanele ngikhulume ngithini yebo kwenzekile akusekho sizokushintsha kodwa cela uNkulunkulu asiphe amandla ngisafuna impendulo ngisafuna
You've obviously been talking to people in the area. Do we have a sense of who the suspect was, the way they carried themselves, etc.?
Well, Shahan, what we do understand, and this is from talking to some of the neighbors, is that this was quite, a very quiet person in the community. It was somebody who was very, not out there. She didn't go out a lot. She didn't talk to many people in the community. She didn't speak to the neighbors, only those she knew. But some of the community members saying that there were actually a lot of cars. This is what they used to see, that there will be a lot of cars outside her house. There is suspicion that she was involved in an illegal house selling scam in that area. In fact, we spoke to one of the victims, who says that she was robbed of a 190,000 rand by this particular suspect. We also understand that she might have also been linked to drug selling in the area. In fact, some of the neighbors saying that there were signs that there was drug selling. There were Nigerian nationals that would go to her house. And also one of a young man that we spoke to in the community saying that at one point, that was in 2018, she had asked him to actually sell drugs for him. But of course, he said that he did not want to appear on camera, fearing for his safety. And that's the sense we got from many of the neighbors, that they were quite scared, Shahan. Many of them didn't want to come in front of camera to speak about her. They wanted to be hidden, their identities to be hidden, because they're saying that they are scared that if they talk and they're seen to be talking, they might be victimized by the family and those who are around the family. But take a listen to the sense from some of the neighbors about this particular individual.
Mibuna 4 years ahlala la. Akasibulisi, akasikhulumisi, umuntu ohlala azivalele endlini. Into esiyibona nje uye besibona imoto. Kugcwala imoto eziningi singazi ukuthi wenzani. Bathi uyi-agent yezindlu. Simangele lento eyenzakele. Ngoba nomntana wakhe besimazi lo mfana siqala ukumbona last year ukuthi unomntana we-firstborn umfana.
Ngibhlungu kakhulu, ngibhlungu lento le islimazile kakhulu into ayiyenzile lo sisi, isithusile. Ya sibhlungu kakhulu sumphakathi sabantu bomakhelwane bakhe, because besingacabanga ukuthi ingayenzeka lento lena lapha mkwamehlo ethu. I mean, umuntu esimaziyo lo singamjwayelanga, kodwa umuntu esimaziyo islimazile kakhulu. Masicabanga nje ubhlungu.
Manqoba, just give us.
Actually saying, the first neighbor describing just how shocked they are as a community. She says that of course she knew this person. She had been staying there for 4 years, and in this 4 years she didn't speak much to the neighbors. She also didn't greet a lot. So she says that there were some suspicions because there were a lot of cars that were seen outside her house, and she says that they're quite shocked and taken aback as a community. I think it's the same sentiment that is shared by the neighbor that spoke secondly, saying that they're quite still shaken by this incident because they didn't expect this to happen in their own community. So that's the sense that we got from some of the neighbors.
Okay, I'm going to leave it right there. Our reporter Manqoba Mchunu.